because people are always like, how is society going to look when it collapses? And like, there's going to be like,
this is it.
Right. Like, there's going to be blaring obvious things that obviously haven't happened yet, like the changing of the financial system.
Yeah.
And I mean, we're kind of teetering on like the larger war scale thing that's unfolding right now.
Yeah.
That's another sign. But like everyday people and what we're constantly influenced by, how is that going to look? And it's like, this is what's been happening. It's been building for 6 years. That's why everyone feels like so distorted.
Right.
Since COVID. And it's definitely like, it's been a buildup to like prepare us for like the fall, because like obviously we have such a focus on like the external, how you look, these fake facades that aren't real. Like all of it is just these like indicators that like this is the peak before like some larger
extinction
collapse, right? You know what I mean? Like some type of collapse.
I really have contemplated if like, okay, because if we think about it, right? When Facebook came out, Neptune was in Aquarius. Okay. That was when a lot of these Gen Zs were being born or they were young during this era, right? So Neptune was in Aquarius. I think Uranus was also in Aquarius. That's why most Gen Zs have those placements. So we can see how Facebook, I guess MySpace came before that too. That would have also been in the Aquarian kind of themes. So it like started to revolutionize social media, the way we connect with others, like how we post and share and see people's lives. But if we really see when the tide started turning, the Instagram era, that was Neptune and Pisces.
Yep.
So I'm wondering, and I'm very interested to see if when we finally have no Pisces energy anymore, like none, because we still have the North Node there until the end of July. And I feel like that the North Node's pretty strong. It's not something we talk about every day, but like its influence is very dominant, as is the South Node. So it's like, even though we're in like massive Pisces stellium right now too. But it's like, I wonder if when we have no Pisces energy left, if like all that is just going to like completely die.
Yeah, I think like it's kind of, we're reaching a point where like people are like calling out these things, and I think most people are, the average person is fed up and tries not to like feed into these things, but it's hard to avoid when a large amount of our population is influenced by what they see online. We get our news from online. They've been able to, there's, people talk about how like they've distorted history because they've gotten rid of, physical copy of like news. Like obviously newspaper's not as popular. It's still around, but like, even like DVDs and going to streaming platforms, like we've moved into this online sphere, and that's why, a lot of people have talked about, and I think it will become more common. And what we will find out is that like for a while, like we know that they've had like this advanced like AI technology, and I think it's going to get to the point where it's like people can point it out a little bit online, like when they see like full blown like AI accounts, like you can kind of tell. I mean, there's even people like trying to like address and call out, being like, oh, I think this girl's like AI and this is why, and like telling these different things, because it is getting so advanced. It's like, I think it's just,
we might not be able to tell anymore.
I know, and I think that it goes into like what people have talked about for years of like dead internet theory, where it's like a lot of these people may not be real. And I've seen people talk about this for a while on TikTok, that
there was like a whole theory about it. Yeah,
like big people they don't exist. Like you never see them. They may not be real. And again, I know like a good portion of them are probably real, but like, for Instagram, for example, it's very easy to fake an entire account.
Oh, and
of just pictures.
And they have shown that there has been entire fake accounts where it's just AI generated, pictures or whatnot. But the reason they're doing that, like you're saying, is because when social media got monetized,
people can make money.
You can make money from it. Like it's all about how many likes and how much exposure you get. That's all that really matters. So there was a lot of accounts. I think that was a couple years ago. They like exposed how many bots
Or like actually, yeah.
You know, and it was just, you know, fake content being created, but because it was so popular and everybody, whatever, liked the aesthetics of the content, whoever's behind those accounts gets money for it, but it's not real. And this is a really interesting concept because, you know, we've been talking a lot for years about like, we know that the internet is going to change. We don't know exactly how or like what it's going to look like, but we know it's going to change. We know there's going to be a shift into people being much more like physical community oriented and like local community, you know, in-person type stuff is going to really become more dominant. So it would be very interesting to have that shift where people have to like go out in the world again. Right. And like, and to no longer maybe rely so much on like, I don't know, social media and the news to kind of know what's going on in the world, but to know what's going on in the world by actually like being in the world. Do you know what I mean? It's like real life, like lived experience versus like what we're being told, because I think us having access to so much news and information was a great tool of evolution, because for the first time in history you could know what somebody across the world was experiencing, and that's pretty cool. But now we've lost touch with what's right in front of us almost, because we're so focused on like what's going on in a place that we're not there, we're not experiencing it, and now we've lost total connection to what is actually our own lived experience.
Right. Yeah, and I think, like, I did see someone say, like, talking about, like, social media and all these aspects and being, like, you know, that there's, like, capitalism has basically influenced and infiltrated every area of our lives.
Yeah.
And it was kind of this, it was similar to, like, this one girl was talking about, like, that alpha male documentary, and she was saying, like, you know, what's the line here when people are so desperate to make money, and, like, what your morals are and what you're willing to do for a check. All of this is tied into, like, capitalism. And she was like, you know, I just remember this, like, you know, my parents always were telling me, like, you know, one of the best things that you should do in life is marry rich. And she's like, I grew up